Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our channel. What you're about to hear could be one of the most crucial updates in the history of currency revaluation. This is a moment that investors, analysts, and followers of the Iraqi dinar have been anticipating for years. And now, according to a series of increasingly urgent and synchronized developments, it appears that the wait might be over. We're talking about a final alert issued by none other than Frank26, the widely followed voice in the dinar community, who has just made what may be his most intense and unfiltered declaration yet. He has stated that the Iraqi dinar will be closing at a rate of $6.66 within the next 48 hours. This, he says, is not a test run. It's not a prediction. It's a final alert. The claim has sent ripples across the financial community, prompting both renewed excitement and skeptical caution. Now let's be clear. The rate of $6.66 is far beyond anything previously confirmed by conventional institutions. It's a number that stands out, not just because of its precision, but because of the intense symbolism and the immediate implications it carries for international markets. A move like this could shake regional economies, impact oil pricing strategies, and deeply affect foreign exchange platforms overnight. If this indeed happens within the next 48 hours, as Frank26 has claimed, it would represent one of the largest currency valuation shifts in modern financial history. According to Frank26, sources within the CBI, the Central Bank of Iraq, and international banking alliances have allegedly reached final alignment. He claims that certain behind-the-scenes meetings have now concluded with signatures, digital authentication, and direct collaboration with IMF guidance. He goes further, stating that the new rate has already been digitally configured and is only waiting for a specific window to be made live. That window, according to his latest emergency alert, closes in 48 hours. So why $6.66? Why not the previously rumored rates of $1.17, $3.22, or even $4.86? Frank26 argues that this new figure reflects the true, full, and fair valuation of Iraq's oil-backed currency in coordination with global asset-backed currency systems, now being positioned under what he refers to as a hybrid quantum financial environment. While many financial institutions have not confirmed such a system in any official capacity, Frank's narrative has gained traction in digital forums, especially among followers of the global currency reset theory. He points to rising oil output in Iraq, stabilization of regional conflict zones, and newly signed energy contracts with China and India as the backbone for the valuation surge. Adding to the credibility of the claim, or at least its seriousness, are movements in Iraqi parliament. Recent late-night legislative sessions have reportedly passed final budget amendments that allow for immediate application of new currency values, though the exact figures remain classified. Some reports indicate that military zones have experienced heightened digital security, especially around Iraq's national banking infrastructure. Frank26 says this is not coincidental. He believes these measures are being implemented to prevent cyber attacks or interference as the nation prepares for this monumental reveal. At the same time, large global banking platforms are beginning to act strangely. Multiple online banking portals have shown momentary outages or brief periods of digital maintenance, particularly those operating in Europe and the Middle East. In previous alerts, Frank26 has warned that such digital glitches often precede large transactional recalibrations. Whether that's merely speculation or grounded in repeatable evidence remains to be proven. But right now, the sense of urgency is undeniably growing. Frank26 emphasized that this is a final alert. He has never used this terminology before in his years of covering the dinar and global economic shifts. The words were not chosen lightly. This is not a rehearsal. He has stated repeatedly that once the rate change happens, the window for exchange will be narrow. He advises all dinar holders to prepare their exchange documents, select their preferred financial institution, and refrain from panic. His advice is to remain calm, alert, and above all, ready. There's also the psychological angle. A rate like $6.66 is not just financially powerful, it's symbolically loaded. Some believe the number was selected deliberately, not because of superstition, but because of its unmistakable visibility. Commands attention. It shocks, creates immediate engagement. Frank26 says this is intentional, designed to shake investors out of their complacency and signal that the time for action is now. Still, the larger financial world remains mostly silent. The IMF, the World Bank, and the Federal Reserve have issued no public statements. But many in the Dinar community believe this is by design. They argue that these institutions never comment on revaluation processes until after they occur. Meanwhile, select insider banking memos have allegedly been leaked, showing confidential briefings on currency adjustments scheduled for the very timeline Frank has described. While those memos have not been independently verified, their sudden emergence adds fuel to the narrative that something enormous is brewing. Frank26's latest video, in which he delivers the alert, features a tone markedly more intense than his previous updates. He speaks with finality, referencing years of preparation and battles with misinformation. He claims that the last holdouts, both political and logistical, have now been cleared. He even hints that multiple allied nations will issue statements within hours of the rate going live, acknowledging Iraq's return to full monetary sovereignty. One of the most critical pieces of this alert is the claim that trading platforms will auto-lock dinar conversions at the new rate within seconds of activation. If this is accurate, those who delay might miss the opportunity to exchange at the $6.66 value. This could trigger a chaotic scramble in both physical exchange centers and digital platforms. Frank warns against rushing without preparation but also warns against waiting too long. The balance, he says, is key. Further supporting this urgency are sudden travel bans on specific Iraqi officials, supposedly to prevent insider trading or last-minute manipulation. Flights have been grounded without explanation. Border transfers have been frozen in certain provinces. Though officially attributed to security measures, many now suspect it's part of a massive, coordinated effort to control the financial environment during this critical window. Adding to the storm, major U.S. banks are quietly adjusting their currency conversion policies, particularly concerning exotic currencies. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Chase have each updated terms in their fine print. Although these changes are subtle, they've triggered alarms in dinar forums. If the rate goes live, U.S. banks will need immediate response protocols to prevent overload. Frank26 says this is already in motion. Now, it's important to emphasize that this alert, no matter how grounded in ongoing patterns or unverified leaks, is still speculative in nature. As of now, no official institution has confirmed a $6.66 rate or a 48-hour timeline. But in this high-stakes atmosphere, where rumors often precede reality, many are choosing to act as though it is already happening. Currency dealers are tightening availability. Online platforms are experiencing volume surges. Some websites are even limiting the number of notes one can purchase per transaction. This kind of behavior has only been seen during times of perceived revaluation readiness. Frank26 has also stated that after the rate goes live, the window for the public announcement may be as short as 6 hours. Within that time, he believes most exchange appointments will be filled, and any lag in response could result in long-term loss. The call to action, then, is clear. Be ready, stay informed, and trust your preparedness. To the seasoned viewer, this may sound like yet another revaluation rumor, but those who followed the patterns know that something feels different this time. The consistency of events, the layering of digital behavior, the cross-referencing of banking infrastructure, and the sudden silence from historically vocal institutions all point to something shifting underneath the surface. Frank26 is not alone. Other key figures in the dinar world are beginning to mirror his urgency. Some have gone silent entirely, another red flag as these voices often go quiet during sensitive timeframes. Private group chats have gone offline. Access to high-level banking advisories has been restricted. In some cases, VPNs are now required just to access international forex forums. All signs indicate that we are standing at the edge of a dramatic transformation. The question now is not whether it could happen, but whether we're ready if it does. With 48 hours on the clock, if Frank26's final alert is to be believed, we are in a countdown of epic proportions. Whether you've held dinar for a month or for a decade, this moment calls for full attention. The next few hours could determine the future of your financial standing, your investment outcomes, and your ability to respond to one of the biggest monetary events in recent memory. This is not just a report. This is a signal, a bell that cannot be unrung, a move that, if confirmed, will go down in history as the reawakening of a nation's economic identity. And it's all potentially happening before the end of this week. Prepare yourself, verify your information, stay off untrusted sources, and keep your eyes on official updates. Because if Frank26 is right, if this truly is the final alert, then you have only one question left to answer. Are you ready to move?